The views and opinions discussed on this show are of the guests and host. They do not reflect the views or opinions of associated sponsors or affiliates. Sudden alteration in belief systems, moodiness, and confusion are natural side effects of listening to this podcast. Enjoy at your own risk.
It's the Odd to Newfoundland. Ghostly greetings from your host, Jonathan. Mysteries, ghosts, monsters, and lore. East Coast esoterica and so much more. If it's odd to you, friend, it's on the Odd to Newfoundland.
Welcome back to the Oddtonewfoundland Paranormal Podcast. So glad you guys could be back here on our 10th anniversary show. But before we dig in with tonight's guest, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about our amazing sponsor. That's right, Accusonus have been with us through thick and thin, through pandemics, through Donald Trump almost getting freaking thrown in jails, to Donald Trump being president. Come to think of it, I've been doing this podcast for a long time, man. Long time. And I couldn't do it without my amazing sponsor, Accusonus. With a mere turn of a knob, they can make any kind of audio sound better. It's amazing. All you got to do is download the software, pay the fee, and it actually connects to things like Audacity, GarageBand, all kinds of cool stuff. One of my personal favorite things to use is their voice leveler. So let's say I got an amazing paranormal guest on, but their voice isn't as high as mine. With a simple turn of a knob, this actually equalizes both voices to match. Such a handy thing to have, especially when you're not nearly as good as when you're not nearly as good at editing audio as you'd like to be, like yours truly. Guys, check out Accusonus in the show notes, and thank you so much. Thanks, Accusonus. Here's to 10 years more of the Oddtonewfoundland Paranormal Podcast. Way back in the day, the year was 2013, I had my first paranormal investigation, and this created a love in me for the paranormal that you wouldn't believe. And I just investigated for many years. I wrote a bestseller about it. I've done so many amazing things with the paranormal. When it came time to have my podcast, I could not wait to talk to more people from Newfoundland about the paranormal. So I thought tonight it'd be kind of cool to interview myself. Yeah, that's right. A paranormal investigator by the name of Taylor Hann is on my show tonight. And much like myself, he's been investigating here in Newfoundland for quite some time. And I thought it'd be really cool to bring on my doppelganger, so to speak. Someone who picked up the recorder after I put it down. Taylor, how you doing tonight?
Not bad. How are you?
I'm great, man. How are you, and why are you in a hotel?
So basically, it's a family reunion here, so family from away and everything. So, so I'm just here in a hotel, living it up.
I think that's pretty freaking cool, honestly. Like, you're living the life. And, you know, every family needs a referee for these things. It makes great sense. I know you're a ref. So, like, you know, things get a little out of hand. You can put Aunt Myrtle in the box, right?
Yes.
Let's get right to it. Let's talk a little tiny bit about you. Where are you from, Taylor?
I'm originally from Oslo, Norway, and I moved here to Newfoundland, Canada when I was 5 years old.
Awesome. And the whole paranormal investigating thing probably came a little later than that, I would imagine. Where's it you live to now?
I live here in St. John's.
Awesome.
Newfoundland.
Awesome. So,
and I have a gift as a medium. I can see and sense spirits, and I can actually talk to them.
So this is really, really cool, Taylor. You're handmade, so to speak, to be part of the paranormal here in Newfoundland. Let's talk more about that. So that's a whole kettle of fish. I might as well say that right now. Like, right away, we got a lot to talk about because, you know, part of being a paranormal investigator is going into locations and trying to find data. But sounds to me like the data's kind of coming to you in a different way. Tell me a little tiny bit about what you see and hear.
So I can see the shadows, and basically, to me, they can see me, and I can see them. And basically, when I go on investigations, I said, I can literally say, "Oh, look, oh, right over there. No one else can see it except me." I can point where it's to, and they go over there. The K2 meter's going off. One of my investigations, I had an orb fly out of my chest, and it was crazy. First time I've ever seen it in my entire life. I never had anything like that before. Last time I had something scary happen to me was when I was playing the Ouija board. So
sounds to me you got like all the traditional paranormal goings on. Orbs, Ouija boards, weird spirit stuff. Tell me a little tiny bit about some of the paranormal investigating gear you use in the field. You mentioned the K2 meter. Is there anything else you use?
I use the spirit box. I use it's an app on your phone. It's I can't remember the name of it. I think it's called Spirit Talk.
Yeah, there's actually like 4 or 5 of them out there like by now. When I first started, that was only then starting to come out. But I can remember like there was Spirit Vox and there was Spirit Talk and stuff like that. So yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if that's the name of it. Something along those lines. Now I swear by the Spirit Box, the actual SP7, that one. Like I swear, like that to me has just so many things I've captured on that's crazy. What's some of the things you've kind of had come through on your devices, Taylor?
Get out. Hi. I love you. Papa. Dad. You're a bitch. F off. Stuff like that. Literally.
You know, for dead people, they're not very lively conversationalists, you know? Seems like we're only getting 1 or 2 words there, but the I love you one is probably the most compelling one because it'd be very difficult to get that one over multiple stations, you know? That's a pretty cool capture. So when did you get that one? What investigation were you on?
I was there by there on Harvey Road.
Right on.
There.
Cool. Is there any locations in Newfoundland that you've investigated that you feel are haunted?
Placentia Bay. They're in Argentia. I investigated the cemeteries in St. John's. I investigated down on George Street. What's it called? Christians.
Okay, yeah.
I investigated Christian's pub.
Bet you that was an interesting one.
Oh yeah.
Tell me about that. Like, tell me how that came about because you know I've heard some stories about that place. I've heard Christian's pub is kind of a creepy place to be. Not just when everyone's drinking and being creepy. I mean, like late at night. Tell me some of the stories from there and if you captured anything at all on your own venture there.
Well, her name is Mary. And when I went there, she was active upstairs. Basically, I had my spirit box going, K2 meter. This is when I first started off, like getting my equipment on the go.
Mm-hmm.
So like my phone. And so I had everything there. Everything was going off, and Mary was active like anything. I mean active. She was like, get out. She was like, hi, I'm in the bathroom.
Oh my God. Really? I've never heard that one before. That's crazy. That's so cool. Wait a second.
Yeah.
Was there a bathroom there?
Yeah, there was a bathroom upstairs.
What? That's so strange. I'm so glad I had you on. This is awesome. So, okay. So tell me more about Mary in the bathroom. so like when this happened, were you actually in the bathroom investigating, or was it like above you, or?
No, the bathroom was upstairs as well. It was over around the corner there, and I was out in the front there, and out of nowhere, coming through my spirit box, it was like in the bathroom.
And you know what? The spirit box is a really interesting thing. Like, I know there's some people out there who don't know what this is, so I'll just really quickly explain to you guys, okay? It's pretty much a telephone to the other side, okay? This thing is cycling through radio stations super fast, and it's common to get like a one-word thing that bleeds through the radio noise. But every now and then in the white, you might hear a sentence, like a multiple-word sentence, like, I'm in the bathroom is a multiple-word sentence that is creepy as hell, and also kind of feel bad for Mary. I feel like we might have been invading her privacy a little bit.
Definitely.
But hey, man, she don't mind, trust me. Tell me a little tiny bit about what else you caught on that investigation at Christian's Pub.
I had orbs. I had things move. Man, I can go on and on and on.
That's the whole point of this. We want you to go on and on. We want you to tell your story. You're in a safe space here to talk about all the wild and wonderful things you come across.
I had footsteps. Then I had, I think, then Mary decided to go touch my hair. It's like, hello, honey.
Oh, boy. So you could see this spirit and it's interacting with you this way?
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Has there ever been an incident with you where you feel like what you're seeing is not really what you're getting, so to speak? Like maybe this thing, it might be a little bit more malevolent, maybe a little bit more evil, or have most of the things you come across been kind of gentle and calm?
Some are gentle and calm, and then there's some investigations that I had where it's like, it's not even what I was thinking of. Like, it's not the real person that, like, it's not the real spirit that I'm talking to. It's actually evil, and it's, oh boy. It's nuts.
Yeah, and it's normal to feel that way too, because really you got no one to talk to about it. And like for instance, you're at the family reunion. Does everybody know what you do in your spare time? Like, does your family, are they aware that you're a paranormal investigator?
Oh yeah, and they don't like it, but I mean, like, it's my job and I love it.
Yeah, I could kind of relate to that, because when I was doing, a lot of people were like, man, well, you get two types of people. Either people who are like, maybe for religious reasons or spiritual reasons, they're like, I don't like this idea. I don't want you to be doing that. And then there's other reasons too, like, well, straight up, they just don't believe you. So they don't want to hear about it. And I get a lot of that too. So it's kind of cool to talk to somebody else who's done this in Newfoundland, because I know how I have had those feelings myself. For sure. If there was one piece of equipment that you could take into, like, let's say you hit the lotto, you could fly anywhere in the world, go to the most haunted place in the world, what piece of equipment would you want to take with you?
Definitely the K2 meter. Because that one I most rely on.
It's interesting too, because like me, I have no luck with a K2 meter. None. But I have so much luck with the spirit box. Do you think it might be like every individual has their forte, so to speak? The thing they're really good at?
Yeah. And like the K2 meter is the most amazing thing that ever came out for a paranormal investigator. You can live on it. I love it.
I like the fact too, like, you can use it to kind of find like live wires and stuff like that around and kind of debunk the room too. And then there's some people who just have the gift of being able to make this thing work and cause communications and stuff like that. Like, I myself have never had luck with it, but I'm glad you had, Taylor, because I bought one, never really got much out of it. Guess what? Just not for me. Sounds to me like you found a good piece of equipment that you really like. And there's other investigators out there who swear by just using a recorder and nothing else. And I had a guy before who just used dowsing rods. Like, everybody seems like they got their own, well, gift, so to speak, to use for the paranormal. So here's a question for you. What is your goal as a paranormal investigator, Taylor? Is there something that makes you do what you do?
It's to let other people know that spirits and ghosts are real, and to let them know that, like, when you pass away, you can you don't really go to heaven that fast. You can literally stay on Earth and haunt the place. It's just to let people know that spirits and ghosts are real.
So let's say you're going back in time, so to speak, and let's say you're going back in time 100 years, okay? And technology isn't as advanced as it is, and there's just so many more people out there who believe in all this stuff. Like, do you think as people have gotten, like, more advanced, like, technologically and science-wise, like, do you think they've lost their spirituality?
Well, some people don't believe in ghosts, and some people do. So some people may lost it. Some people may not lost it. It's on a 50-50 chance.
Most people I've come across, they're in this camp, this weird way of thinking where it's like, I don't believe in ghosts. There's no such thing as ghosts. But man, this one time this happened to me. How many times have you heard someone say something like that? Or they talk
over
about
1,000.
Right. And they talk about, the paranormal experience they may have had when they were younger. And it doesn't necessarily have to be ghosts. It can be like other things like Bigfoot or Loch Ness or UFO phenomena even. I always tell people when they get into the paranormal, there's so many different aspects of it. But really, when it comes to the paranormal, it's really for everyone. You don't need to be a science-minded person. Anybody can do the paranormal investigating. Anybody can get into it. And hey, man, if it makes you happy, get her done. My opinion. More power to you, Taylor.
That's true.
Is there places in Newfoundland you'd like to investigate? Is there anywhere on your Newfoundland investigation bucket list, so to speak, that you'd like to visit?
Bell Island.
Anywhere in particular in Bell Island?
The mining, the mining cell.
Can I tell you a story?
Yeah.
So I was very fortunate enough to be able to go to the mines and investigate down there.
Okay.
It was so cool. I had to go in there on a day when it was closed and talk to the museum operators who ran it. They were very sweet, by the way, and asked them very kindly. I pretty much had to beg them, hey, can I come in and just run some of my equipment and stuff? And they're like, yeah, sure, why not? So it worked out really well. Soon as you get down so far, on the spirit box goes completely dead. Nothing. No radio whatsoever. The problem was I don't think I was really allowed to be there long enough to capture anything. I feel like I only had a chance to run the spirit box for 20 minutes, and sometimes it's hit or miss. You don't get anything every time. And, I really wish I could go back there again, Taylor. I really do feel if you could go to the spot where those two men were killed by that minecart when it fell back, and they were crushed against that wall and right down near the water, if you can get down there with a spirit box, I know that if you ask enough questions, eventually you will get something there. 100%. So yeah, let's do it. Let's go to Bell Island, man. This sounds like fun.
Me and you.
Is there anybody else, anywhere else in Newfoundland you might like to investigate?
That's a good question. I don't really know anywhere else in Newfoundland that is haunted. Only St. John's and Bell Island.
True. And St. John's is every second house is haunted. It's crazy. Everywhere. I went downtown one time and I was just like, so how many houses are haunted? And the lady was like, well, I know this one, that one, this one, that one. And it's just insane. The amount of haunted places, it's just a real ghost hunter's dream down here. Problem is, you got to know someone to get in there. So we're going to bring this little interview, so to speak, to a close. But I just want to say that I'm really appreciative of having you on. I feel like I'm talking to myself from 10 years ago. It's kind of cool. I wonder where you're going to be 10 years from now. I wonder if you'll still be doing the investigation thing. And I wonder if you'll have more stories to tell. I'll be looking forward to it anyhow. Guys, Taylor Hann's Vlogs. I'm going to make sure there's a connection for you guys down there. A little link in the show notes for you guys to check out. Go down and check out his vlogs and stuff. He's a Newfoundland Paranormal investigator, just like I used to be. I hung up my recorder, but it's good to know that other people out there with their recorder going, with their spirit boxes and K2 meters, still prowling around Newfoundland, the most haunted city and oldest city in North America is St. John's. It doesn't surprise me. Taylor Hann, thank you so very much for being on the Oddtonewfoundland Paranormal podcast. Thank you, bud.
Thank you so much. I enjoyed.
Attention all Podbean, iTunes, Stitcher, and TuneIn radio listeners. The Odd to Newfoundland Paranormal Podcast brings you the best in East Coast esoterica on the first of every month. Together, we can keep it growing by sharing the show on social media, subscribing to the show wherever you may be listening to it from, and by leaving feedback about your favorite episodes. John certainly needs a friend like you to help make his dreams come true, minus the alien abduction dreams. That is not cool at all. The Odd to Newfoundland Paranormal Podcast. Always available, always free, always odd.